Good morning, students. I hope you are all safe in your home. Good. This is a continuation of part 1. This is part 2. First one, artificial methods. Apart from natural methods of reproduction, a number of methods are used in agriculture and horticulture to propagate plants from their parts. Such methods are artificial propagation. There are two types of artificial methods. One is conventional methods and modern methods. What is conventional method? Some of the artificial methods are used by man for a long time and are called conventional method. Modern method. Nowadays, technology is being used to produce large number of plants in a short period of time. Such methods are called modern method. So these are the two types of artificial methods. Conventional method. The common methods of conventional propagation are cutting, grafting, layering. So first one, cutting. In this method of producing a new plant by cutting the plant part such as a root, stem and leaf from the parent plant. The cut part is placed in a suitable medium for growth. It produces new plant. There are three types of root cutting: fruit cutting, stem cutting and leaf cutting. Root cutting, example malus, apple. Stem cutting, hibiscus and moringa. Leaf cutting, bryophyllum. Next, grafting. In this method, two different plant pots join together to grow as a one plant. So one plant pot contact with the soil is called stalk. One more question. And the other plant pot is used for grafting is called scion. Stalk is scion. Example, citrus, mango and apple. Next, there are 5 different methods of grafting: bud grafting, approach grafting, tongue grafting, crown grafting and wedge grafting. Bud grafting, a T-shaped insertion made in the stalk. This is stalk and bark is lifted. The scion bud is placed in the incision beneath the bark and properly bandaged with the tape. This is a bud grafting. Next, approach grafting. In this method, both scion and stalk remain rooted. The stalk is grown in the pot and it is brought close to the scion. Both of them should have same thickness. A small slice is cut from both and the cut surface are brought near and tied together with the help of a tape. After 4 weeks, tip of the stalk, base of the scion are cut off and detached and grown in a separate part. Next, tongue grafting. A scion and stalk having same thickness is cut obliquely and the scion is fit in the stalk and bound with the tape. This method is tongue grafting. Next, crown grafting. This stalk is large and the scion is cut into wedge shape. This is a wedge shape and are inserted in the slits or cleft. This is a cleft of the stalk. Fix the position using the graft wax. This method is crown grafting. Next, wedge grafting. In this method, a slit is made in the stalk. This is stalk. A slit is made in the stalk. A twig of a scion is inserted and tightly bound so that the cambium here is inserted and is tightly bound so that the cambium of the two is joined. So this is called wedge grafting. Next, layering. The stem of the parent plant is allowed to develop roots while still intact. When the root is develops, the root part is cut and placed here grow as a new plant. Example, Flora and Jasminum. There are two types of layering: mount layering and air layering. Mount layering. This method is used in plants having flexible branches. The lower branch is leaves bent to the ground and the part of the stem is buried in the soil and the tip of the branches is exposed above the soil. After the root emerges, here root is emerges from the part of the stem buried in the soil, a cut is made. Here cut is made in the parent plant so that the buried part is growing into a new plant, a new pot plant. Next, air layering. Bark tissue removed in this place, moist soil applied, it is covered with the polythene tied. In this method, the stem is griddled. This is a griddled place. A nodal region and the hormones are applied. The hormones for growth are applied to this region which promotes rooting. In this place, rooting formed after that. This portion is covered with the soil using polythene sheet. After 4 months, these branches are removed from the parent plant and grow in a separate part. Next, modern method. A genetic ability of a plant cell to produce the entire plant under suitable condition is said to be totipotency. It's a very, very important 2-mark question. What is modern method? In this method, using the technology for producing a new plant. It is used in horticulture, forestry, and some of the industry to produce or propagate the plants. Next, the growth of plant tissues in special culture medium under suitable controlled condition is known as tissue culture. This is also a very, very important 2-mark question. What is it? The growth of a plant tissue in special culture medium under suitable controlled condition is known as tissue culture. Next, micropropagation is also a very important 2-mark question. The regeneration of a whole plant, the entire plant from the single cell or tissue or small pieces of vegetative structure through tissue culture is called micropropagation. This is a very, very important 2-mark question. Next, sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction involves the production and the fusion of male and female gametes. Already I have told you what is sexual reproduction. Fusion of male and female gametes. The gametic fusion is 3 types: isogamy, anisogamy, and the oogamy. These are the that you studied in your 11th standard. In algae, external fertilization takes place. In higher plants, internal fertilization takes place. So next, flower. You know very well the flower parts of a flower. The flower possesses 4 orals. Orals, which means calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. You know very well the parts of the flower: calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Next, the process or changes involved in sexual reproduction of higher plants include 3 stages. What are the 3 stages? Pre-fertilization, fertilization, post-fertilization. Pre-fertilization, before the fertilization. Post-fertilization, after the fertilization. Next, pre-fertilization and events. Pre-fertilization events included male reproductive part androecium, female reproductive part gynoecium, and pollination. These are the processes are included in the pre-fertilization structure. The hormonal and structural changes in plant lead to the differentiation and the development of floral primordium. Next, male reproductive part androecium. Androecium is made up of stamens. Each stamen possesses an anther and filament. Anther bears pollen grains which represent the male gametophyte. Next, development of anther. A very young anther develops as a homogeneous mass of cells surrounded by an epidermis. During its development, the anther assumes a 4-lobed structure. Each lobe has a few rows of hypodermal cells become enlarged with nuclei. The archisporial cells divide by periclinal division to form a primary parietal cells towards the epidermis here. Towards the epidermis and the primary sporogenous cells towards the inner side of the anther. The primary parietal cells undergoes periclinal and anticlinal division. This is a periclinal division. This is an anticlinal division to form a 2 to 5 layers of anther walls. It is named epidermis, endothelium, middle layer, tapetum from periphery to center. Next, microsporogenesis. The stages involved in the formation of haploid microspore from diploid microspore mother cell through meiosis is called microsporogenesis. This is also a important 2-mark question. The primary sporogenous cells undergo few mitotic divisions to form sporogenous tissue. The last generation of sporogenous tissue functions as a microspore mother cells. So microspore mother cell is present in the microsporangia. Each microspore mother cells divides meiotically to form a tetrad of a 4 haploid microspore. Microspores separate from one another and remain free in their anther lacule and develop into pollen grains. In some plants, all the microspores in a microsporangium remain held together called pollinium. Example, Calotropis.